Oh, baby. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's time to put on those socks, according to the good old chat over there, it looks like. I don't know what that's all about, but you know what? I like it. I support sock action as well. Give me some fucking foot jobs out there, and let's get down to it today because Bitcoin is on a bit of a pumpity pump, as we did say was likely, coming off the lows from that $41,000 level from yesterday, now coming up to where you would be probably looking for if you are bearish, and probably where you are looking for if you're bullish to push right on through. So with that said, it is actually at the point of maximum opportunity. Coming into the quarterly close a little bit later today, as well as we do have the quarterly close and also the monthly close and the daily close all coming at the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a lot's going to be postulated around that, and it looks like the Bulas and Bears are posturing for right now. And with that said, I do want to say a massive welcome to everyone in here. Holy shit, man. It is massive. Jesus Christ, man. This is like actually full today. This is certainly a new all-time high on likes before the stream even really starts. Almost 200. What the fuck? We just broke 100 resistance earlier this week, and now it's all the way at 200. What the hell? Well, I want to say a massive thank you for liking this video. It certainly does help. Oh my god, there it is. It's over 200. Holy shit. Vegeta's back in the house, and there we go. Anyways, good morning to everyone out there. I see Mr. I Am Now. Yasik is back in the house. Maralia, nice kitty. Oh, nice kitty. I absolutely love that. Always with the meows. Gohan's mom, Mind Evo. I see you, brother. Sir Woods, I see Legend Ali already. Von Go. Holy shit, man. Huge ass titties is in the house as well. My lord. Oh my god, man. People are up late today, and it must be for good reason because Bitcoin is on a little bit of a $2,000 pumpola right there. Anyways, I'm going to turn off the alerts because I don't want to listen to that, and I don't have my assistants here today, so unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult for me to pull up all these chats. I'm going to warn you right now. Hey, if you're sending in chats, I am going to have a very, very difficult time pulling it up until you actually wait until I'm just done with getting through the early morning rigmarole. If I could just please politely and respectfully ask for your ask for that, then I think it'll be a lot more smooth. So I'll try to do my best job over here, but no promises, as things are really tight right now, and actually rather hectic. Holy fucking shit, man. Dear lord, this is a big day. What's up, Luke T? I see you, brother. CED, holy fucking moly, man. 2 days in a row. Molly, what's up, man? Trick shots, blockchain barber. I could use some of that. No, just kidding. Fucking buy the dip. There he goes. And Jesus, what the hell? Over 400. What the actual fuck? Did someone buy a like bot or something? Like, please don't actually do that if you did do that. But if those are real, if those are legitimate, then I say a massive thank you. Anyways, with that in mind, let's get into the Krown chain application right now. We got a big one today because it actually is, you know, a quarterly closure. We only get 4 of these a year, and if you actually notice, all quarterlies essentially do correlate with macro directions, in fact. Anyways, with that said, what do we see as far as the top 10 dashboard goes? Bitcoin dominance continuing to go up as we have postulated. I do expect that this does have another leg up into the mid 40s, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish. That does mean that altcoins, in general, not all of them, but in general, are going to be losing versus their Bitcoin Satoshi pairing. Fear and greed index at the lowest level that we have seen in 2 months now down to a 24, being walked down by 1 point each and every day. But I expect that that's probably going to tick up after this last little move right here. And then as far as the top 10 winners go, oh, we got some 2017 shitcoins. We got them right here, baby. OMG Network at the top of the winners list. That's great. Anyways, BMB coin actually had a nice little rally yesterday as well. Let's see how much it actually held on to that. Zilliqua, Qtum, DYDX is once again there. Axie Infinity, Internet Computer. There we go. Lovely name. Decred and Huobi token all on the winners list today, which is actually rather interesting because most of those are from 2017, I do believe, with a few from more recent times. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Another thing within the underlying market dynamics over here that does kind of make it difficult for Bitcoin to break down in the very, very short term, as we were kind of postulating yesterday. Look, this doesn't necessarily look like the picture of health and fitness as far as charts go, but I wouldn't necessarily expect to break down like today, or in this case tomorrow now, as we are on the next day. We're in the future now, and it's like Jesus Christ. Maximilio Palma says the 4-hour jewel on the likes is in the bullish control zone. Doesn't have that, but you know what? We'll run with it anyways, man. That is insane. Dear Lord, man. 564 likes before this really even gets going. That's definitely a new all-time high. Massive thank you for that. Massive thank you. Sincerely, like, it actually does mean a lot. Anyways, global leverage ratio still creeping up right here. So with this quarterly closure in mind, I am going to really be changing, or not necessarily changing, but evolving a lot of the major biases that I'm going to be having coming into the end of the year. Essentially, if Bitcoin does close above 44,000 bucks, as we're going to talk about soon enough, I would be looking at that as very likely to keep on the hoping for new all-time highs before end of year. Now, with that said, do I still think that we can have a move down into the mid to low $30,000 territory? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'd still probably be looking for that regardless of where Bitcoin does close today. But it's really going to set in the biases for the end of year price action. Anyways, global leverage ratio, as you can see, is jumping up here yet again, and all of these highs that we have seen on September 7th, on August 16th, and on, of course, last November were all 30 to 50% corrections actually, and we are kind of creeping up to that level yet again. So I do look at this as probably going to be, probably going to end up in a little bit of short-term, medium-term tiers, but ultimately it's not till we really get into these territories where that does become actionable. And again, I do have to politely ask, if you are going to send in chats, it's going to be really, 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 really difficult for me to pull them up. So I cannot promise that I'm going to get them today. Unless if you just simply wait until I'm done with all the usual stuff, with all the usual business. Anyways, global open interest, in there he fucking goes. God damn it, man. Global open interest also popping up after having a massive shaving off. And this is rather interesting to me right here, as we do see global open interest coming down this whole way, but global leverage ratio has been more or less flat and now angled up yet again. So what does that essentially imply? Well, that does imply that spot price action or spot positions are coming off the board a lot more rapidly than whatever open interest doing over here, and that you might call a bit of divergence. So we'll have to follow up on that in the next few days to come. Again, I don't necessarily think that is actionable just yet, but once it starts to get above this 0.175 region on the global leverage ratio, that's where I would start to really signal a lot of cautionary warnings for this market. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that the move will always be to the downside. It just so happens that the last few times that we've been in that region have all been moves to the downside. And this would also be a setup for that as well, to be fair, as it is right now. But it's not actionable in its current form. Anyways, into the charts we go. We'll start off with the most important thing to be aware of today. That is, of course, quarterly closure coming in at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And if we do close above the topside Toronto band, which is pretty much at about $44,000, which Bitcoin's certainly within striking distance right now, then I would keep. I actually would have a bias towards probably new all-time highs before end of year. Does that mean 6-digit targets? Maybe. Probably off the back of an ETF, of which you should probably be aware of this over here. I want to give credit to Mr. Coop for sending me this, as this is actually massively helpful. And what do we have right here, Mr. Coop? We have Mr. Gary Gensler once again committing his what do you want to call it? His, I suppose, support for Bitcoin ETF, essentially, which we do have a lot of decisions coming in at the end of October, around the end of October, around week 3 to the end of October. I think there's like 5 to 6 different ETFs that will, potentially be decided on. Those are the earliest dates with which you would kind of expect them to have a decision on. So if I had to kind of call it right now, let's say Bitcoin does close above $44,000 today. I imagine early October is probably going to be rather choppy. That's probably where you're going to see a move. If there is going to be a move down to the mid to low $30,000 territory, and then off the back of an ETF, you're going to see something similar to what you saw in 2017 with CME futures. Now, there's a whole fucking meme going around in this market as well that the ETF is going to be a futures ETF, and that doesn't count. No, shut the fuck up. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about, and learn markets for the love of God. Sorry, I do use rather intense language right there, mostly because I do have a conviction of this, and I do, have quite a bit of experience. And if you actually do, and if you've been around, that sounds fucking ridiculous. If you've been around since 2017, you also have experience as well. Hey, what happened when Bitcoin got a future? What happened when Bitcoin got futures contracts that were settled in, cash? Well, still fucking pumped anyways. It's all about the interpretation. It's all about the perception. It's not really about the fundamentals, actually. So again, Gary Gensler over here, recommitting his support for Bitcoin ETF. It does seem inevitable, as I have been saying. End of this year is very, 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 very likely, at least from the sources that I speak with and from the people that I do know. And this yet again, at least I would imagine, kind of confirms this. So with that in mind, you do have to start to wonder, what does that mean for altcoins? Because Gary Gensler has also been very critical, or at least skeptical, that a lot of altcoins could be considered securities, of which then they're going to have to, fall under U.S. jurisdiction. Again, I know that this sounds really ridiculous coming from an American, which I am. I was born in America, although I live over here in Finland now. That the U.S. is essentially gonna, more or less run this market, but that has been essentially the history of this. So until that changes, I really have no reason to change my opinion on that. But for right now, there are a few other interesting things on the quarterly here as well. I've been speaking about this one for the last couple months here, of which I want to reference the wick lows on all quarterlies. anytime that Bitcoin has taken out the prior quarterly wick low, that has been all of your nasty, very fucking nasty, very hefty downside moves that are prolonged for a long period of time. And all of the times where Bitcoin has essentially just not taken out the last quarterly low, it has led on to a long-term continuation. And for right now, we can see that all quarterly wick lows coming in from basically April of 2020, actually, so going all the way back on over here more than a year ago, have been higher than the prior. Even these ones over here, which look ever so minute, they are actually still higher than the prior, just, you know, to the tune of about $100 actually. This one over here, about 27,741 and 9 cents. This one here, 28,740 and 40 cents. And then this one over here, 29,292 and 73 cents. And you can also backtest this, of course, as well. Anytime that we have taken out the prior quarterly low, those have been your, well, in these cases, I mean, 50% corrections or more. You can see it over here, takes out the quarterly low on this one, and then boom, into coronavirus dump times, down 63% actually. This one over here takes out the quarterly low, and then from closure to next wick low, 76% down, not bad. And then this one over here, obviously, as well, can't forget that one. We do see this one takes out the quarterly wick low from that high to next low, 67% down as well. Then you have one over here, of which we can just briefly analysis. Oh, what do you know? Another 67% move to the downside. So until that happens, I wouldn't necessarily be calling any sort of mark cycle over in this case. Then again, you know, what do you consider a mark cycle at the end of the day? Because, you know, most people, myself included, actually, do have a very short attention span, and I don't really care about the macro, to be quite honest, as far as my own trading goes, but it is rather interesting to kind of analyze anyway. So until that happens, I don't think that Bitcoin's going down to, you know, 20,000, 15,000, 10,000, anything like that. I think that that's, I don't think those are relevant targets, at least at the current moment in time. If Bitcoin starts to take out the prior quarterly wick low at about, you know, just below $29,000, yeah, maybe we can start to talk about something like that, at least 20,000. But for right now, you know, I do still think that any sort of a move down to mid to low $30,000 territory in early October is probably a major opportunity. Anyways, with that said, let's go cover up the last 24 hours of price action, of which I'm actually going to go down to a lower term time frame right around here. Let's put on our drawing tools, and what do we say? Another retest of the lows and a bouncy off the lows, and a bounce could come all the way up to the tune of about 43 to 44,000 bucks, of which we're right in between there right now, actually. So here's the thing. If you are bearish on this, which, hey, fair enough, it is still a downtrend, obviously, then this is probably the area that you are looking for to put in the next higher low, or sorry, lower high in this case. As you can see, we are still kind of following this right here. I don't necessarily think that it has to be exactly like that, but obviously, as long as we are below about 44,000 bucks on a 4-hour closing basis or on a wick basis, 44, let's just call it 400 in this case, then yes, we are operating on lower highs, and the bears do still have the ball in their courts. Of course, I would not necessarily consider this a local high until Bitcoin comes back down, if it comes back down, actually, below about the 55 right here, which is just above 43,000 bucks as well. So 43,000 bucks is going to be a very, very important pivot for the short-term timeframes, and then of course by end of day, kind of looking at around 44,000 bucks as, you know, generally setting in the biases for the rest of the year to come. So understand how I'm kind of dividing up the short-term timeframes, the medium timeframes, and the high and the macro timeframes, because there's always going to be or not always, but generally going to be a separate analysis on all of them, because, you know, you might be fucking bullish on a 5-minute and bearish on a, you know, on a monthly. Are they related to each other? Kind of, but not really. You know, like how many 5-minute different trends can you see within the context of a month? Infinite, basically. You know, it's not very helpful. Anyways, if we put on our what's it called, our indicators over here, what do we see? We do see 4-hour Jewel is actually continuing with its long signal from yesterday, did catch the low over there, and now that is actually still actionable, and the DMI is now supporting as well, and we also are accompanied by some bullish divergence coming off the lows as well right here. So that is good for the short-term boo laws. If we go down to the hourly, do we see anything of particular interest right here? Yes, we do actually. Short-term timeframes very likely do pull back. I'd probably be looking for another retest of 43,000 or 43,100 if you want to be super exact on the hourly, as BBWP is pretty much redlined already. Anywhere above 95 percentiles where I do look for a little bit of a, what's it called, of a contraction phase in this case. Be looking for a pullback, as this was a nice upside move on the expanding volatility, so contracting at least ranging or a little bit of downside on that one. Anyways, let me just double check over here. Okay, we are good, or at least I think so. What the fuck? Why am I getting these weird messages on Discord right now? That seems bizarre. Anyways, we'll just skip through that right now. Anyways, okay, yes. So what else do we have to talk about right here? Are we creating any sort of hidden bearish evidence on like a buy hourly? No, because we already put in a higher high right here. So maybe that brings us up to the 3 or 4 hour. And in this case, what do we see as far as 3 hour RSI goes? Actually, we are right around that prior high. So yes, if Bitcoin does start to stall out right here, that would be your next lower high in a series of lower highs in the context of a distributive pattern right here, that being a descending triangle. And I'd still be looking at the measure move to be hit on this one, which would be all the way down, I imagine, to just below 38 or 37,000 bucks if memory serves me correctly. Yes, indeed, actually right at around right below 38,000 bucks, in line with your August lows right here, which actually still would be viable if you are looking at the hash ribbons indicator and kind of playing that signal right there, as that would suggest that this low very likely does not get violated on a higher term time frame closing basis, not on a wick basis. We can certainly get a wick down, but closing above 38, basically 38,000 bucks would still fulfill that whole prophecy right there. Anyways, on top of that, that target would also be in line, of course, with our weekly 55 as well, which is kind of where I'm generally looking towards. As long as Bitcoin's below about 45,000 bucks. That also implies that if Bitcoin can start to take out this, this first lower high right here, there's your first big warning signal. If you are, if you're an aggressive trader, you probably even look at that as a full-on long signal, at least up to 45,000 bucks. However, if you are going to be a little more on the conservative side, which I do think is more relevant in this case, actually, you're probably waiting for the 0.5 right here, which is also in line with about just below 45,000 bucks. Above there, well, I would consider this a nice bear trap, and looking for price action back around the 786 in this case, just around 47,000 bucks. And at that point, could we play out a little bit of a bull trap right there? Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the day, need to take this market at one leg at a time in this case. And of course, the quarterly closure is going to be big, at least for myself, kind of judging what to be looking for in the next month to come. So again, very, very short-term timeframes probably do pull back right here, somewhere around about 43,000 bucks. If 43,000 bucks breaks, let's see, what sort of a time frame would I use on this one? Could I use an hourly? I actually think an hourly could work in this case. It'd be very aggressive for myself. What about a buy hourly? No, I'd like to see like a 4 hour, probably back below 43, to be honest with you. Just because a lot is going to be sort of predicated on this next, on this next less than 24 hours actually until the daily close. Then I would be looking for that, I would be looking at that as a confirmation of your next lower high on these lower term timeframes. And well, the descending triangle target is still very much valid. On top of that, barring contingent upon an actual break of the bottom side support on this one at about 41,000 bucks or so. Anyways, lower term time frame momentum offsetters, what are we looking like right here? Hourly is going to actually turn back down below about 43,000 bucks. That will obviously change as we tick into the next hour, which we can check on a little bit later. Buy hourly is doing what? Actually freshly up as long as above 41,600. In fact, 4 hour is also freshly up as long as above about 42,200 in this case as well. So with all of that in mind, I do want to point out the daily signal as well. We actually did close, we did not close above what was needed yesterday in order to twist this baby back up, but 42,750 going to be the magical number right here. So you can see a lot of things kind of overlaid around the $43,000 level. I do think that that is front runnable though, based off the 4 hour in this case. And we also do see, or we did see, in fact, a bit of a fresh signal on my sort of experimental indicator over here, of which we're getting really, really close to actually releasing this one, working with Caretaker on this one, which is pretty damn cool. And this one actually did say, well, close your shorts yesterday on closure and next move up. So good to see that working as intended. And what else do we want to go over as of the current moment in time? Oh, yes, that's exactly right. Okay, so there's also another reason why I actually do think that front running a bit of a short-term reversal here would be actually okay, at least in my opinion, at least in my system, back above the 55 right here, which is about 44,500. Again, the last lower high that we did see, and of course that would be the 55, which would essentially, it wouldn't necessarily negate this current cross going on. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to see the cross going the other way in this case, but closing back above the 55 would be your first sort of major red flag that this is going to be a bear trap. And again, at the very least, target to move up to about 47,000 bucks, and then potential for more over time. Other than that, though, as long as we are living below this is still a bearish setup overall. So make no mistake about it. I generally am looking for Bitcoin to actually go down below 40,000 bucks, regardless of how today closes. It's just the bias is going to be set in whether I actually want to be a buyer at that level for maybe a long-term trade or not, of which I almost never even take long-term trades anyways. Weekly, of course, is not so hot right there as well, in fact, and we can go through a little bit more of the rigmarole on this one as well, which I haven't done in a bit of time, but I'll put it on over here. Let's go to the bi-weekly. We'll talk a little bit about the old MACD's nuts now, won't we? Which I can just plop on over here. Actually, I haven't put them on in a while. I actually got rid of them. But they have their uses. It's actually both relevant on the weekly and bi-weekly right now. On the weekly, we do see obviously, losing momentum as Bitcoin, essentially putting a lower high right here on the weekly. That was confirmed if you're conservative on last week's close, or if you're aggressive a couple weeks before that. And then of course, if we go to the bi-weekly as well, we do have something of particular interest right here, of which every time that Bitcoin has, and I think, nope, I have not apparently done this properly, but every time that Bitcoin has seen a bi-weekly MACD cross the downside, well, we've seen a very, 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 very similar result to what we have going on right now. So I've them marked off by the vertical lines right here, these vertical blue lines, that is. And you can kind of just judge for yourself, obviously. And in this case, what do we see? We see that, well, the last 3 times, which of which does make a trend, although not too many iterations right there. So if you want to sort of push back on a statement like that, that's certainly reasonable. What do we see right here? We see the bi-weekly MACD cross on the downside. Bitcoin's based off the 20 simple, bounces up. After, and all of this, by the way, is coming after, monumental rallies, by the way, and bounces up just above the 9 exponential average, dumps down, rejects, of course, comes down to the 55. This one actually gets another bounce, of which they all do, in fact, and then eventually breaks lower. So this is relevant. Same thing over here. Bitcoin gets the bi-weekly MACD cross on the downside, bounce off the 20 simple, up above the 9, rejection, down to the 55, and blah, 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 and lower we go over time. And then same thing back on over here as well, right? We do see the same thing with Bitcoin getting the bi-weekly MACD cross on the downside, Bitcoin based off the 20 simple, bounce above the 9 exponential average right there, and dump it down to the 55, and then dump it a little bit more as well. So to be fair, what I'm postulating over here actually would be a lot more bearish than what I'm currently considering. However, looking at this right now, what do we have? Well, we have the bi-weekly MACD cross the downside right here, Bitcoin bounce above the 20 simple right here, back above the 9, boom, rejection, lower high confirmed, and well, typically your next target is going to be around the 55, which is rising over time, which is coming in at around, actually, technically speaking, at about 28,000 bucks or so. It doesn't need to be exactly there, obviously, but that would be, theoretically the technical target based off that similar signature that we have seen many times within the past. So, is it possible to go lower? Yes, absolutely. And if Bitcoin does close the quarterly below 44,000 bucks, I will start to really interpret that as a legitimate possibility, as all of those iterations in the past have not just retested the 55 after that, but literally broken lower over time as well. You can see the same thing on the on the weekly here too, with the ADR specifically, and you can see it right here. I've actually marked off with this green territory, right? And every time that Bitcoin does essentially have an ADR read into this, it's actually 350, which is a great number, which is kind of funny. 350, the old 350 right there. Typically it is, well, it is a bit of a bull trap within the context, I should say, within the context of a weekly downtrend. So what do we see over here? This one actually obviously was within the context of a weekly uptrend, so it does not apply. This one over here, actually getting the last few highs, but again, within the context of weekly uptrend, so again, doesn't necessarily apply. What do we have over here? That's a bit of a trappy trap. What do we have over here? Actually, no, that's a bit of a correction as well. Was I doing this on a different time frame? I must have been, because this actually is not operating the way that I would have expected. Maybe it was the monthly. Maybe I have to do this later for the long-term analysis video so that I don't, so that I don't completely fuck this up, because this is actually rather important. And apparently, I'm certainly on the wrong time frame right now, so I need to go reference my notes, and my phone's charging right now, so fuck. Anyways, with that said, let's go back on over here. Do we have a buy daily closing today? No, we closed one yesterday. And what do you know? Bitcoin actually does have a chance to put in some phantom div on this current low as well, but it's not closing today. It's closing tomorrow on Friday. It needs to close basically above about 43,500 where we're at right now. So if that does happen, yeah, I would be looking for next move up, probably around 47,000 bucks. You're probably going to have confirmation of that move if it is going to happen today anyways. So probably going to be a bit of a laggard right there as well. And then what do you know? Traditional markets, as we have been referencing, is also bouncing. In fact, Bitcoin actually bounced first before NASDAQ in this case, which is interesting. And Bitcoin also retested the lows first yesterday as well in comparison to NASDAQ. But NASDAQ actually still not looking too hot, to be quite honest with you. So that does make me really consider that, we might just be looking at another lower high right here, right now. And this is just another $2,000 rally that pretty much did nothing new. And it has done nothing new as of this moment in time for anything that actually matters for the general structure here on any like medium or higher term timeframes, that is. And well, as long as you're especially below 44,000 bucks, continuation of trend is the most likely thing to happen, of course. So be aware of all those pivots are for Bitcoin on the short-term timeframes. 43,000 bucks, or technically just below there on a closing basis. And then of course we got the quarterly at 44. And that's going to drive a lot of biases for the next basically 3 months to come. If Bitcoin closes around or especially above 44,000 bucks, I probably would be looking for new all-time highs before end of year. If it does not, well. Well, we can pray to Bula Jesus a little bit more. Sing Kumbaya together. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna try to get on over to the chats now. Again, I really cannot promise you that I'm gonna get everyone here because I am operating on my own lonesome today, unfortunately, which is all good, man. I do appreciate the help that I've been receiving earlier, but now we have to go back to the old ways, which I actually used to do myself. Anyways, I see Mr. Legend Ali Aziz is already here. What's up, Mr. Ali? Okay, we can look at silver. You're asking, is silver as worthless as my girl, or is there hope for a bounce to 25 bucks by June expiration? By June expiration? So you're talking like almost a year out. I mean, that's quite a far time out. I mean, this is pretty wrecked though. This is pretty wrecked, man. I do think it's going to go lower before it goes higher. If it's going to go higher, I'd be looking at around 19 bucks or so. You're asking about a year out. I wouldn't feel too comfortable or too confident talking about that. If I'm looking at this right here, I do think that this is going to go through, at best, a very long-term accumulation, which would imply, this is the part that you're not going to like, and I do not think that it's going to get back above 25 bucks by June of next year, even with that. I do think that it comes down to like 14, 13 bucks actually, probably around that time. Anyways, we started to get really, really bearish on silver right here at the beginning of September, especially when it broke the structure right there. That was the key signal. However, I would be looking for a bounce off of 19 bucks. But just that, a bounce before further continuation of the downside. Not weekly, but monthly RSI tells the story on this one, and monthly Jewel actually calling the top as well right there. So I would only be looking for bounces, but overall continuation to the downside on that one, man. So no, if I had to call it right now, I do not think so. But that's really far out. That's really far out. What's up, huge ass titties? Please check out Hairy Balls on the 4 hour. Thank you, sir. Let me just look down my pants right now, and there they are. And nice, we're good to go yet again. Always got to check on my hairy nutsack. And well, I'll just leave it right there. I don't know what else to say to that. What's up, Sushi Yum Yums? Hey, Krown, got to go to bed early tonight after your talk about quality sleep last night. Yeah, man, sleep is the key, at least in my opinion. Could you look at EXPR on the 4 hour daily? Sure. EXPI, this is a new one, so either this is a stock or a crypto. Nope, certainly a stock, or at least if it is crypto, it's not on TradingView. What are you looking at? 4 hour daily, coming down to fill the gap. I'd be looking for a bounce a little bit lower than where we're at right now, somewhere around just below 39 bucks or so. But do I like this one? Do I not like this one long term? I think that it heads further down long term. Should stay below 40 bucks coming into next month. Weekly RSI telling the story in this one as well. Some phantom div on that one, or actually just regular bearish divergence. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back down around 32 bucks by end of year. This is not so hot right now, but short-term bouncy. So it sounds like you're a little bit more on the short-term time frames right there, so fair enough. Hopefully that's helpful, but I'd be cautious of like 42 and a quarter. So let's see what else we got over here. Shit, YouTube's about to done goof on all my chats. What's up, King Cosmic? Hello, kind sir. May your day be filled with peace. You know what? That's exactly what I want in my life. Just peace. I don't want happiness. I don't care about happiness. I don't care about emotions. I care about peacefulness, man. Fulfillment and peacefulness. Those are my goals in life. Anyway, SPY. Yes, I know that you want to look at SPY, of course. And what do we see over here? Another retest of the lows, as we did say was likely yesterday. And what now? Bouncy bounce, very likely to be initiated. Of which this one's actually kind of struggling alongside NASDAQ as well. I don't, let's see what the monthly looks like. I'd really be looking at the monthly and quarterly right now, because these are just going to drive so much price action coming into the end of the year here. Here's the thing: the infrastructure bill seems to maybe be being moved again. So yet again, fucking Nancy Pelosi gets to play games with my goddamn sleep schedule, because I actually will have to be up for this time, because this does matter certainly. But looking at this right here, any sort of a closure, basically here or lower, I am starting to look at, dare I say tops. Monthly, same thing as well. I mean, it's not necessarily bearish engulfing just yet, but it's certainly not the picture of health and fitness, and probably does begin the move around end of year down around about 41 to 41.50 or so. Daily, however, obviously bearish as long as below 4,400 by today's closure, but that's just, the monthly is going to be a lot more interesting than what's going on right there. If I had to call it right now, man, I'd actually be looking for this one. I don't know on the short-term time frames, actually. I think a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer right here. The higher-term time frames is what I feel a lot more confident on, and you do have a lot of things coming in, of course, end of quarter here. Typically speaking, what happens at end of quarter? Typically speaking, end of quarter does close on an uptick. So, for what it's worth, if I'm going off of history right here, I probably should be looking for a move somewhere around about 4,400 or so. That's going to look a lot better, of course, on the monthly and in quarterly, but for right now, I would hold back on that statement. I'm just going off of past history on that, not necessarily what I'm seeing right here. I'm not seeing anything too obvious right here. The obvious move was obviously the retest of the lows yesterday. So I don't really have anything to add on to that actually right now. Apologies on that, man, but that's really all I can say for right now. Let me actually turn on the alerts. I forgot to do that, and let me see if I can pull back the comments. It looks like they've gone with the wind. I can never find them again. Yeah, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I just lost a shit ton of them. So, again, hopefully I warned enough people, but for the people who did not listen, well, I do apologize. I know that it's annoying, man. I know that's annoying. You probably just didn't know. So it's all good. We can look at MK Daddy. He wants to look at SRM. Will SRM moon, sir? He asks. Please tell me SRM will moon soon, actually. Okay, will it moon soon? I don't know. What's your definition of a moon, man? What's your definition of a moon, sir? I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back down around like $5.50 coming into October. This one not really following with Bitcoin's little pumpola right here. Short term, does it pop up to like 780? Perhaps yes, but again, just another lower high, man. This market's getting very excited about lower highs. Lower highs and lower lows. We're going to the moon through the fucking center of the earth. And I mean, this is obviously a good long-term chart, no doubt about that. But, it can certainly afford to move down, even below about $5 and still be long-term very, very good. Long-term meaning like, maybe end of year or beginning of 2022 right here. So, is it going to moon soon? I don't think that there's any talks of mooning on this thing, especially as long as you're below, let's call it 8.25. Above 8.25, yeah, I'd probably be looking for this one to play with the rest of the market. Probably gets to pop back up towards $10 or so. But as long as you're below there, I don't really have any reason to expect anything different than what we've been getting. Basically going back on over here to early September, actually. Hopefully that was helpful, man, but perhaps not what you want to be hearing. What's up, Mr. Mark B? I'm new here and looking to buy Hex. Oh, well, you came to the right place. Enter in like 50 fucking people named Hex God, Hex Lover, Hex Babe. That's my favorite one, man. They all have the same join dates too, which is rather interesting. How does that happen, man? How does that happen? What's up, BK? Sir Luna USD? Yep, we can do that one. We can certainly do that one. Luna USD over here. Let's see what we got, and I should record this one as well. This one acting well over here. Again, this is certainly relatively strong. All right. Here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar. Apologies for the annoying sounds in the background. And what do we have going on right now? Well, yesterday we did have a bit of a range going on at around $33 or so. I probably did say, in fact, I believe I did say I would be looking for this one to put in a move down at $30, but long term still very, very good. I actually do still think that probably does happen here. Again, very, very important to reiterate, long term, very, very good chart right here. And we do have a monthly closure coming up later today at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Any sort of a closure, basically here or higher above 35 bucks is looking good for end of year. Maybe not necessarily October. October is probably a month of consolidation, but end of year would look very, very good on this one. And if it does come back down to 30 bucks, I would be looking for a nice little bounce solo right there. How would I be judging this one in the short-term time frames? Well, I'd be looking for that move to occur if you do take out the last 4-hour low, which is about 33 and 40 cents, it looks like. Then yes, I would be looking for that. Until then, this actually does have a decent setup right here and has been holding it up relatively well compared to most of this market. So that deserves a lot of respect, as we've been saying for the past, I don't know, we've been looking at this one for a while now. So go over here and check out momentum oscillators and see if they agree or if they can help out those biases. In this case, we do see daily is going to be popping down with any sort of a closure today below 37.65. 12 hours also down as long as below 39 bucks, and 4-hour is freshly popping up above 34.50 in this case. So I do feel compelled to say then, if we come back on over here, I would not be, or at least I don't think that 33.40 is the area to look for continuation to the downside to that 30, just below $30 target in this case. You could probably use 34.5 as all higher term time frames still showing, a little bit more downside than upside on this one. Again, long term, very, very good, obviously, but does everyone go for a little bit more of a prolonged correction? Probably yes, and that's completely fine, and probably does set it up for again a very good end of year, maybe like a choppy early October in this case. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for now that I check it out, daily Jules getting another hot or your short signal, but not supported by DMI. I do still think that at the very least probably just ranges a bit more in this case. So fair enough. Hopefully that was helpful. I should offer up an invalidation on the other side, basically in this case looking for a retest around your prior highs, any sort of a 4-hour closure above 37.25, which would also obviously put up all of the higher term time from momentum oscillators to the upside yet again. I'd be looking for continuation back up above 40 bucks and probably continuation in early October rather than a little bit later this year in like a November or December in this case. Overall though, a very respectful chart, and nothing bearish about this thing at all whatsoever, as long as you're above like even 25 bucks. So definitely stands out as one of the strong. So nice one, man. Let's see what else we got over here. Mr. Gemini Athlete says FTM 4-hour daily and weekly. Okay, Phantom. So this one's very popular right now as well. And if I recall, last time we looked at it, it was a good chart. I'd still say it's generally a good chart over here. Long term it is. Yeah, actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good for what it's worth. Here we have Phantom, symbol FTM versus the dollar. And what do we have? We have another one of the more stronger charts that we're probably going to see within this market right now. Obviously going through a bit of consolidation between about 111 and 140 high. And short term actually does look okay on this one. We see BBWP trending down the whole way through this correction. So that is good. That's what you expect to, well, in this case, very likely lead towards long-term continuation. Speaking of long-term, monthly close later today. Any sort of a close here or higher is going to look really, really good again for end of year. Maybe a bit of a choppy October in this case, but overall, let's go over here now to our momentum oscillators and see if we can come up with some areas of interest and then also invalidation points. Hourly stays up as long as above about 121. Okay, short term good. 4-hour will pop up above 125. Not necessarily there just yet, but still has another couple hours left to go to closure. 12-hour, what it be looking like? Freshly down below 130, and daily is down below 118. Very interesting. A big bifurcation between all of those different signals. What I would say on this one is, well, I'm going off the lower term timeframes over here. It does have a very obvious continuation point to the downside, 117.5 on a 4-hour. And yes, I would be looking for another retest somewhere down just around $1, around the 55 in this case. Until that happens though, sideways is good on this one. You do see a slew of higher lows right there, and this would kind of mark off a bit of reaccumulation in this scenario, with confirmation more importantly above about 132 in this case, and then I'd be looking for a general move back up to $1.50. And that's probably going to look like a really good early October rather than like November or December. But overall, again, a very, very respectful chart. And deserves a lot of praise, especially when most things in this market are not looking, like that at all. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for FTM. Nice one, man. Let's see. Dump traps is Patrick Bros. Could be, but do you promise, sir? Daniel6845 says, Doggy needs a girlfriend. Can I kindly request a Doggy GF at Uniswap inverted? Is this a real thing? Is this a real thing? Your Doggy is oh my fucking God. No way. Oh, dear Lord, man. I've gone down some really weird YouTube rabbit holes sometimes, and there's this like one girl who has a YouTube channel where she and this is a very serious thing, and like you're supposed to be accepting of this, and maybe call me old-fashioned, but I do think that this is well, fair enough. I'll just you make the decision. Basically, she has a fucking YouTube channel where she talks about how she likes to have sexual intercourses with her canine friends. And I do use multiple there as well. So you can check that out on your free time. Maybe just go there right now. Fuck this video. Anyways, looking at this, does Doggy need a girlfriend? He needs multiple girlfriends, man. This is garbage. This is even worse than fucking Doggy Coin itself. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. Worst chart of the day award goes to this piece of highly esteemed technology, and we'll just leave that right there, man. I think that's enough for garbage shit today, man. Hopefully helpful, but oh god damn. Let's see what else do we have. Jesus Christ, man, someone is spamming as usual, and a very happy individual. I want to come on Pam's face, hot salty loads. Man, that is definitely a person who's rich. He's very rich in both health, wealth, relationships, a very happy person. He's so fucking happy. He spends his time trolling apparently Pam on YouTube. Sorry, Pam, that you have to deal with that, but I would take it as like a nice term of endearment. You know, someone loves you so much that they take their time to do that, I guess. It's like, what the fuck, man? Dear Lord. Anyways, what's up, Super Googly? Hello, sir. Can we have a look at quadruple threes? Got a small position, so this must be a Chinese stock. It is. Oh, it is Evergrande. Evergrande. It must be Mexican as well, or Spanish. Got a small position at 230. Okay. So you basically bought the low. I mean, you basically bought the low, which is incredibly impressive. And you're getting a nice little pity bounce right now. You know, first spike up probably does get rejected, but can it go a little bit more than where we're at right now? Maybe even all the way to like $4? Probably yes. But I don't think that this is the one that you're necessarily looking for. You know, after a big move like this, you're probably going to see another long form sideways move before this thing ever, if ever, has another, you know, sustained upside move again. You know, I'm talking about something like this, which, by the way, we're on a weekly right now. So this represents almost 10 years of price action between this point and this point over here. So, you know, I'd probably be very quick to get out of something like this, and you know that is rather risky. That is called catching the knife, and fair enough. Fair enough. To each their own, obviously, but to each their own in this case. I suppose you're okay as long as it's above about 275 or so, but I do not trust anything like this, and I think best it does the upside short term is like 3 to 350 or so. So I'll just leave it right there. What's up, Waldo Nell? Can we look at the bull market support band? What are you talking about, bull market support? Did someone make up a new indicator? This is the bull market support band. I should probably not make fun of it before I actually learn what it is. I don't know what you're talking about. So unfortunately, if you could reference like the name of the indicator specifically, or dare I even look that there's something called bull market support band. Bull. No fucking way. Oh dear Lord. Oh, it's just this. It's just the 20 SMA and the 21. Is that going to be right? Let's just see. Cool. I guess we're still above it, but that I don't know how to analyze this thing, man. It would seem like one of those indicators with a cool name, and well, let's see. Is it applicable? Let's back test this a little bit. Okay, it just looks like two moving averages. I'm sure that it is. It's a 21E versus a 20 simple. Fair enough. I don't trust shit like this, man. It's highly prone to fake outs, like you see over here, like you see over here, like you see over here as well. What do you know? Fails on all the bull trap tests, which actually kind of makes it valuable in and of itself anyways. But yeah, man, to me, it's all about slopes when you look at something like this. Once they start to both get negative slopes, which we are in the midst of right now, actually, it seems that downside typically does happen. Other than that, I don't really know what to say about this thing, because I don't have any experience with it, and I'm not necessarily sure what the proper way to analyze it is to begin with. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's coming from like some other thing, which I don't have any experience with. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, what also blows my mind about someone like that, who spends their time like in doing like trolling YouTube, I guess, is that they don't just do it once. They make a bunch of different accounts as well. It's like, ooh, kind of person you walk very far around on when you're passing by the street. The problem also with online is like you don't really know who you're dealing with. What's up, Nuke Tech? Can you look at ETN? Sure. Looking to the end of the year and beyond, your thoughts? Well, let's see it first. I know that we looked at this one earlier this week. It's actually looking pretty good here. Yeah, it's actually looking pretty damn good. End of year, wouldn't be surprised to see this one make new all-time highs. Yeah, this is actually pretty damn good right here, to be fair. I would actually favor this one long term. There's not a quarterly to really be looking at, but you know, the monthly's okay. There's nothing really bearish about this thing, especially as long as above like, I mean, especially above 2 cents. But generally speaking, I'd be looking for upside on that one. If you're just generally asking about like long term, in that case. Okay, let's see. Buckwheat says, Krown, look at the chat. Yeah, man. Again, I cannot pull up these chats like as soon as I get them, so it's difficult. But we got Alex Switch here. Fucking nice, man. Fucking nice. Thank you for that, sir. Very much appreciate that. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. What a very happy and fulfilled individual we have there. Not Alex. Alex is great, but this guy. It's the same. It really is the same guy every day. Like think about what kind of person you have to be to like do that or like think it's funny. I guess I don't know. I thought shit like that was funny when I was 13 and 14 doing the old prank calls. If you remember that shit with the soundboards, good times. Chaney Wilson says Aave daily long. Does that mean long term? We haven't looked at Aave in months now, I think. Do people not love it anymore? Well, I think I see why. Already corrected down to 55. Okay, you're looking at like a long term for you. You know, I'd be looking for lows or at least big bounces at around low $200, like 210 to 215 region daily. Very fucking weak right here. Probably does have another continuation of this bounce. However, multiple drafts of bullish divergence come off the lows right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see it in the more like short to medium term. Popped up to like 308, especially if Bitcoin continues here above about 44,500. If you see something like that, that'd probably be good. But this one's relatively weak, and any sort of downside move on Bitcoin, this thing's going to get sent back down to its prior lows at like low $200. And at that point, you got to pray to Bula Jesus, because yeah, below there, things look a lot worse. Now, to be fair, long term, I mean, this chart's like pretty damn good, all things considered, but short term, very much relatively weak, and that's interesting to see. So, if I understand properly, is this like a reward token or something? I'm gonna guess so, because it seems like the selling pressure is real on this. Let's see. BK says AVAX USD. Yep, we got that. All right, let's check it out. AVAX. Let's pop this one over here. Yeah, AVAX still looking really good, man. Did not hit my $50 target either. How dare you, AVAX? You better fucking go down. All right, here we have Avalanche, symbol AVAX, versus the dollar right here. And we've been looking at this one the past few days, which I have been looking for a correction down to mid to low 50s, and this thing just continually puts in the higher lows, which is very fucking strong, as you would expect. Probably one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land right now. So let's look at the higher term timeframes, as we are coming into the monthly close later today. And here's what I feel very comfortable with saying. Any sort of a closure above $60, end of day today, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'd be looking for a very likely new all-time highs in October. Maybe at latest November, December. But this is really good long term for what it's worth right now. Daily, I mean, hard to even be looking for medium term downside as long as you're below $60. Let's see what we got right here, and let's see if this thing can give us a little bit more biases on this. And what do we have on the daily? Daily stocks have actually been correcting this whole way, and will be actually fulfilling a trendline test going all the way back on over here. And will turn back up above $71 actually on today's closure. I don't necessarily think that's happening right now, but that is a decent setup, especially as long as things can go sideways. 12 hours down as long as below $71. 4 hour is up as long as above about 64.20, and hourly is twisting down below 66.5 or so right now. So what does that essentially imply? Well, let's actually go into the lower term timeframes in this case. This one should be rather obvious. Yeah, below 64.5 on a 4 hour. Even just below the last 4 hour low, I'd say this is probably front runnable. I would still be looking for that move down to about 55. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one does come down around there. Long term, though, make no mistake about it. Very good chart. Very fucking good chart long term. But overall, I would be looking for a little bit more of a correction to the downside first, and then probably have like a good October or November in this case. But a very powerful chart, like very good long term. This thing, if this thing comes back down to $50, should have a nice bounce around there. terrible word to be using as a trader, but overall I do like that area. Now where would I invalidate this where would I invalidate this and maybe speak a little more clearly, and just generally look for continuation back onto prior all-time highs and probably new all-time highs, maybe even later today or very early October, back above $71 on a full hour would look really, really good, like really fucking good on this one. So hopefully that's helpful, and there you go for Avalanche. Sweet. Waldo Nell says, thoughts on BTC bull support band. Again, I don't, I can pull up that indicator. I just don't know what the fuck it is that you're saying. If you look at Cryptoverse, I don't look at him. I don't like, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking asshole here, man, but no, I do not look at Cryptoverse or Crypto Universe or whatever. He's probably great. He's probably fine. He's, I'm just looking up his channel on my other screen over here. Apparently he has like 500,000 subscribers. That's great. That's amazing. Judging by his titles, maybe interesting analysis. I'll just leave it like that. But I don't know. Then again, you can't really judge it from the title anyways, because I know that my titles are almost always contra to the actual direction, just for like clickbait bullshit. But yeah, man, I can't speak to that. He obviously, or I guess he puts a lot of faith in the weekly 21, or basically made an indicator between the 20 simple and the 21. Cool. I mean, it's cool. I think I'll just leave it right there, man. You probably know my thoughts based off of what I've been speaking about on the long-term analysis videos, especially. So, yeah. I'll just leave that right there, man. Hopefully that was done in a respectful way, and we can just move on. We just looked at AVEX, so we're good there too. And I will actually be uploading a video on that one later today as well. What's up, Mr. Deaver? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Quick analysis on SoFi. Okay, SoFi. Okay, now we're past DeFi into SoFi. Or is it this? Or is it okay? It's a real stock. It's a real stock. This is great. Something that actually does something different. Down, baby. Gap fill back down at 15 and a quarter. Probably bounces there, but just a bounce. This thing's coming all the way back down to like 14. Very, very likely. The downtrend continues. I do think that 14 to 14 and a quarter probably does bounce this one on the weekly, and could actually be okay long term, but short term down. See what the monthly looks like as well. Yeah, not a big fan of that one, actually. Monthly makes me think that 14 might actually fail, but at least for right now, just a bit of down. Just a bit of down. Down and sideways, name of the game. Tails. Not Tails, but Tails. LCX versus Wrapped Ethereum. All right. Get two highly liquid assets going against each other right now. Let's see what we got. Pretty good. Pretty good. Illiquidity is a feature, not a bug on this one. And I'd actually be looking for a move back up to, what the fuck is that number right there? I don't know what that number is. 585,500 Buterolls, or I'm not sure. Very weird chart on the weekly. Very fucking weird, but sloppy as all hell. Don't know how much I trust it, but I would be looking for a generally move back around your March highs in this case. And above there, you can probably start to look for like a macro, just general up glide. Invalidation on this one below about 390 Buterolls, or whatever the denominating currency is on this thing. I don't trust indicators or anything like this. I don't trust really anything other than trend. And for what it's worth, it looks okay over here. Just always skeptical when you see a volume on the daily, by the way, of 6. There have been 6 fucking contracts traded today, and this thing seemingly trades like probably less than $1 if I had to guess based off that number. Well, fair enough. Maybe I have that backwards. Either which way, it only takes one person to sell that thing, I think. You can be a whale, though. Anyone can be a whale in this thing. That's great. I'm being actually harassed is buried alive. Yeah, that's the thing, man. If you make fun of the community, they'll come for you. They're coming for you. I can't save you, man. No one can save you now. No one can save you now. What's up, Ramon? Hello, good sir. Hello, good sir, to you as well. Good morning to you. Mind checking out PDEX? Yeah, this is Pokedex. Down, man. I don't. Oh, you gave no time frames on this one. Short term, a little bit of downside on this one. I mean, daily does look like it's trying to put in a bit of an ascending trend, but I do not trust anything Anything on KuCoin like this? I mean, technically speaking, this is an ascending triangle. You should be bullish on something like this. But do I think that it's going to test another downside move down to like 18.5 or so? Probably yes. And I'd get full on bearish on this one below 18 bucks, especially on a 4 hour. Daily should be, I mean, technically okay, but below 18 bucks, very, very bearish. Would be looking for a big shattering move down below $12 overall before the next sort of decent sized bounce. Until then, you can certainly make excuses for it. I mean, technically speaking, this is a bullish setup right here, and it would look really, really good back above about 21 and 3/4 for a move back to the top side of the range, and very likely a breakout after that. Monthly is good, at least for the history that we have. I don't trust it again too much when you don't have much history, but just be aware of your invalidation. I suppose this one's actually okay. The more and more that I look at it. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. Cool. Okay, whoa, Jesus Christ. How does YouTube even allow a name like this, like that? It's weird when people like actually use real racist terms. It's like, you know, not in a joking matter. Obviously, it's just like kind of weird, man. Kind of fucking weird. Matthew Kim says, stock, Zoom on the monthly, weekly, daily. Sure, let's check it out. Zoom. I'm guessing you're talking about this one right here, not the one on Stockholm. Probably talking like Zoom, right? Monthly, weekly, daily's down. Weekly's down. Oh, we got a free fall. We have a free fall, baby. We have a free fall. We have a shitcoin of a stock in free fall motion right now. You know, would I be looking for a little bit of a bounce at 225 or so? Probably yes. Long term though, I think that this one's if this thing closes today anywhere below like 280, I'd be looking for this one. You know, there's gonna be bounce along the way, but I'd be looking for this one to go back down below 200 bucks, probably like sometime around early 2022. Fucking garbage right here. It's garbage, sir. It's garbage. I leveraged my favorite brown shorts, and it's not doing so great. Your favorite brown shorts, like, so you're short, or you leveraged your shorts to go long. Where can I find sudden relief? Sudden relief, you get that from like X-Lax. In this case, I wouldn't be looking for even like a decent weekly bounce until 240, and even then, like, I don't know, man. Best it does to the upside, I think, is maybe like 320 to 330, and that is, and I do not feel confident on that at all. What I feel confident on is this. is this nastiness right there, man. Fucking nasty, terrible, just terrible. What's up? Fucking buy the dip. Link mid and long term if you can. Put some insight for the 4 hour for the fourth quarter. Okay, let's see what we can do over here for Link. We haven't done a video on this one in a bit, so maybe I'll do a video on this one. I feel like this one, no. Okay, it does go back to 2017. I don't know, the quarterly is not too helpful here. I mean, long term, this is fine. It's fine on this one. Could the monthly come down to like 18 bucks or so? Yes. Could it come down, or even a little, or a wick below there to like 13, 14? Yeah, absolutely. You know, short-term bearish as long as you're below about 25 and 3/4 or so. Sorry, make that 25 and 1/4 in this case. As long as you're below 25 and 1/4, man, I do look at this as just another corrective move in a lower high fashion. And I would confirm this as another lower high with any sort of a 4 hour below about 24. Sorry, make that 23.85. 23.85 would do it for me, and you know, this thing probably topples on over again. But for right now, short-term time frames are actually showing a little bit of hopium. What I'd like to see on this one in order to look at it as like good is a 4 hour back above about 25.5. That would look really, really good for kind of completing this as a bit of a bear trap right here, and very likely imply targets back up to 29 and above actually. Quarterly I like for the long term, but I don't know if that means anything to you. You know, could that still come alongside of a move down in, you know, October probably to just below 20 bucks? Yes, absolutely. But that'd still be an opportunity long term, assuming that this thing can close basically today, especially above 25 bucks. That'd look really, really good. Yeah, other than that, man, you know, if I'm going based off my system, like, this is obviously fucking bear. It's an obvious bearish setup right now, to be negated by a move back above about 25.25 to 25.5. That's where this one starts to look okay again. Until then, I would be interested in buying a move down to like 15, 16 bucks. on a wick there and then close back above 20, that'd look really, really good long term. Especially if it happens in October as well. What's up, Barry? Is Elsa on maternity leave? She would probably have an abortion if she got pregnant. No, she is in Spain right now with her friend and having a good old time. Jesus fucking Christ, man. This guy, like, seriously, he keeps on making more and more accounts, man. You are just one specimen. You are just one specimen of a great human being, sir. Let's see. Acon coin. It's Acon coin again. What's up, man? LCID. Okay, LCID. What's this? Lucid Group. All right. Cool name. I like lucid dreaming, certainly. Actually pretty good here. And you're looking at what? A 2 hour. Okay, let's go down to a 2 hour then. 2 hour, just a bit of a range, but broke out before, ranging right now. This is good. Probably move back down to about 25.5 to maybe even as low as 25.25, but overall I'd be looking for general continuation to the upside. This is pretty damn good, man. Long term, I really like the weekly here. I imagine the monthlies are bullish engulfing. Any sort of a closure today above basically here or higher, just even above $26 is going to look really, really good for November, December, maybe even October as well. Although I suspect that October might be sideways. Let's see. Nick B says, can you look at Energy Web Token EWT? Yes. The EWT over here on KuCoin. Bad on the monthly, bad on the daily. It's weak as fuck. Does not get to participate in upside moves alongside Bitcoin. I think best it does to the upside right now is like $9. If you do get another continuation move, probably going to be spun upon by a Bitcoin move above about 44.5 if I had to guess. Probably do see that move up to about $9 or so. Not give me any time frames to go off of, but what I can say about this one is heavily bearish as long as you're below about 940 to 9. Let's just say 9.5. Easy to remember in this case. All higher term time frames look like absolute dog shit. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back down around about 6.25. Maybe even maybe even the next few months, like not today or anything like that. Weekly complete shit. Terrible, just fucking terrible. Weekly RSI breaking below the exponential right there. Even the weekly jewel, which doesn't necessarily have enough history right here to put too much weight on, is getting another downside signal that is speaking towards the long term. But because you did not include a time frame, I don't know where you want me to go on this one. So heavily bearish again, as long as you're below about $9.5. Even long term, any move that fails to get back above $11, just corrective. Depends what time frame you're on right there, but generally a laggard and very weak. Spencer Smith, what's up, man? Okay, sir, I have a sheet coin for you. Oh, dear Lord. I don't have enough of those in my life. YLDY, Yieldly. Okay. This sounds like it's probably a farming token. Yieldly. It doesn't have, it really doesn't have like a terrible chart for a sheet coin, sir. If you can't find it, tell me how low. Thundercore just has a great name. You have a great day as well, sir. I would be looking for next move down, probably down to about 55 to 56,000 Uterols in this case, or whatever the hell. Hidden bearish evidence on the last daily high right there. So yes, I am biased towards the downside, but I wouldn't necessarily be like bearish on this one long term, as long as you're above this kind of like slew of wick lows right here, like 46,700 or so. But do you play at some downside move in between there? Probably, yeah. Weekly is okay. Like really, this thing's got to be liquid as all hell. But yeah, short term down, man. Short term down, long term okay. Hopefully that was helpful, but I don't know what time frames you're trying to look at there, sir. What's up, winning choice? Hello, Uncle Krown. Just regular Krown, man. No uncles here, sir. I mean, Zur Krown. Yeah, there we go. I am Zur. Can you please look at Cotti once again? Sure. This rocket keeps playing with my emotions. All right. No more Uncle Promise. No, all good, man. Okay. COTI USD. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, really good chart. Really impressive, man. Among some of the best charts that we've seen today. In fact, this one probably maybe even the best chart that we've seen today. Really good on the weekly, man. Really good here. Monthly closing today as well. That's really fucking good, man. Could there be another move down to like 55 cents or so? Maybe yes, but I'd be looking at that as a major opportunity for the long term. I don't know what time frames are going on here, so I don't know like where to kind of hopefully do something resembling help on this. But long term, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing at like 85 to maybe even $1 even. Maybe end of year. Short-term time frames, like a 4 hour invalidation on short-term, just general upside as long as you're above about 54 cents in this case. generally good, generally pretty damn good. I'm curious what it looks like over here as well. I'm gonna guess, or well, let's see. Maybe I shouldn't guess anything. Daily, as long as we're above 56 cent, looking good. Momentum remains the upside. 12 hour, 63 and a quarter, kind of around there right now. 4 hour, crossing down. Okay, so this actually does help rather significantly. You know, basically it's saying that if you fail to continue like right now, not right now, but today, like intraday, today, the 30th of September, that is, then yeah, I would be looking for a corrective move down to like low 50 cent, but long term, that's still very, very good. Nothing bearish about this thing long term, as long as you're above about 50 cent even, actually. Until then, you know, the obvious answer for upside continuation is basically just above that 65 cent region, and you could probably look for that next continuation move to, you know, 80 cents at that point into October. This is very good long term though, very, very good. All higher term timeframes bullish, short term timeframes just, you know, I mean they all are trending right now, but do they play out a little bit of a downside move to the bottom side of that trend? Maybe yes. You're thinking right there. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Waldo's back again. If you look at cryptocurrency, yeah, man. Again, you know, no disrespect to any other analysts out there. I just unless if they're like a colleague of mine, I'm generally not interested in their analysis, and that probably comes off as incredibly like incredibly antagonistic and incredibly just hubristic. But you know, well, I think it's generally important to be very curated with who you you know, with who you kind of reference and who you kind of surround yourself with, of which, you know, I've like a bunch of trusted people that I kind of surround myself both within the Discord community that we have. They certainly know who they are, and then of course from my prior professional life as well. Kind of sounds weird to say, but actually do still convene with a few guys from my old office, and they actually have become a lot more interested in Bitcoin recently, which is super cool. One of them actually called the last move like absolutely fucking perfectly. It was great. Cameron says DYDX, short, medium, and long term timeframes. Okay, let's see. DYDX. Dusty. All right. You're looking at short, medium, and long time frames. Don't know what the fuck that means to you, but I'm gonna go with the 4 hour daily weekly. Oh god damn it, man. There is no short, medium, and long term on something that's been around for less than a fucking month. For the love of God. Appreciate you helped 5x my account in a bear market. Holy fucking moly, man. Nicely done. You know, maybe I helped with that, but look, at the end of the day, man, you did the trades. I did not make the trades for you. And you deserve the credit, man. You deserve the fucking credit, and don't forget that. And you need to believe that too, because that means you can do it yourself. You don't need me, man. It's all good. Whatever you're doing, if you're making money in a bear market, you're probably a very good trader. We all make money in a bull market. In fact, probably the least skilled traders of us all make probably the most in a bull market, because they're just not hesitant to hit the green button, typically speaking. Anyways, looking at this right here. This one had a little bit of a short-term toppy top. Yeah, I think so, actually. Here we have DYDX versus the dollar, a very new project it looks like. And of course, long-term, this is a very good chart. I don't want to get it twisted with anything I'm about to say. And I'd probably even be looking for new all-time highs in October. However, short-term timeframes, are we looking for a little bit of a move down? Probably yes. I do think somewhere down around about 24 and a quarter to 24 and a half bucks. And very likely a bounce right there on the hourly. We're looking at a 4 hour right here, you know, uptrend, looking pretty damn good, especially as long as this thing's above 22 and a half. So please understand the different time frames that we're looking at. If you're, you know, more long term, at least for the long term that we do have on this thing, you know, pretty damn good. Just short term is more of a, you know, short term correction in this case. I want to check over here as well and just see where we're at. 4 hour Stoke's going to be coming down below 2662. Okay, we are currently below there right now, but ever so slightly. Hourly is coming down below 27. 12 hour is not really helpful, but 24 and a half is the magical number right there. And daily is just not even populating, so not really relevant here. Maybe a 6 hour is going to be relevant. Yep. Yeah, again, long term good, but short term does it correct down? Probably, yeah, 24 and a half bucks is where I'd be looking for, you know, maybe a bit of an hourly bounce, and then probably finds its way down to low 20s, like 22 or so. But generally, you know, a long-term good chart for what it's worth right now, but and not really much to make out of a chart that's been around for a little bit less than a month. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for DYDX. Cool, man. And again, congratulations. 5xing your account in a bear market is very commendable, very, very respectful. What's up, Philson? I see you, man. I see you, brother. Rocket, what's up, man? Gohan's mom. Barry, there he is. Phil, what's up, man? Yeah, we can look at Ethereum, Mr. Phil. Certainly. Let's get on over here. This would be a good time to record this one as well. Alrighty. Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar. And of course, today is the 30th of September, the last day of the month, which means that we got a monthly and quarterly closure here. It's something that we only get 4 times a year, as the name implies, obviously. So what I want to start off with is the higher term timeframes, of course, as always, as this is going to, supersede everything else for the long term. And what do we have right here on the monthly? We actually do have what would appear to be a rejection of the topside Trollner band for right now. That's at about basically just below 3,500 or so. So barring a closure back above 3,500 by end of day, possible, although I wouldn't necessarily say it's the most probable closure today. I probably would be looking for early October to be a little more corrective rather than expansive in this case. Quarterly, however, still very, very good. So this would set in my bias for end of year. Probably does test around new all-time highs. Or sorry, in this case, probably make new all-time highs, assuming that we close the quarterly. In this case, I really want to see it close at least above $3,000. That would make me feel a lot more confident in that statement. Until then, I would hold a bit of reservations. Now, currently we're trading $40 above 3,000, but that's a sneeze in this market with 17 hours, 38 minutes, and 35 seconds left to go until closure. Let's actually go down to the lower term timeframes over here, come up with some areas of interest and some ranges, obviously, and some invalidations on this one as well. And what do we have? We still have lower highs. In fact, this one is operating on lower highs as long as we're below about 3,100 or so. And I would confirm this as an early lower high right here if this thing does close a 4-hour dildo back below basically $3,000 actually. So if you see a 4-hour closure below $3,000, I would be interpreting that as an early signal that this one's going to come back down to the range lows and probably set it up for a breakout. Sorry, not breakout, but a breakout to the downside in early October, probably targeting moves down to 23 to 2,400 or so. Which would still actually look good long term if you're looking at the weekly right here. Corrections down to the 55 are completely fine. It's actually a little bit lower than that, to be fair, as well. So a lot's going to be riding on this next closure to come. But let's just postulate right here for the long term. Let's say, let me actually just delete this whole chart because we only need 2 things to be looking at right now. Let's just say that Ethereum does break down early October, assuming that it doesn't get that closure that we're looking at for on the quarterly here. And let's say it comes down to like 23 to 2,400. Well, what would we have, presumably speaking? We'd have something like this, which would be a massively long-term, not necessarily short-term, but long-term bullish formation. It would also imply a nasty move to the downside in the interim as well. Let's go back down to the short-term timeframes over here. And of course, where would I look for short-term continuation? Not necessarily to 3,500, but probably to 33 to 3,400 would be any sort of a 4-hour, even just a wick higher than basically like 3,200 in this case, or a 4-hour closure above about 3,150. If one of those 2 things happens, I would be looking for this one to put in a move somewhere around 3,350 to 3,400 or so. Go check out this over here. Let's see what we got. 6 hour stuff is going to be up as long as above 3,000, or sorry, 2,900, not 3,000. 4-hour is going to be up as long as above 2,900 as well. Hourly is flip-flopping around right now, but 3016 is the magical number for the next hourly closure. 12-hour is going to show 3,000, almost even, and daily is also going to be around 2,900. So a lot of things actually pinned around 2,900. Perhaps it'd be a little bit aggressive of me to call this bearish if it does close a 4-hour below 3,000, but well, I probably would still actually hold on to that, to be honest with you. Do we have any sort of divergences to be aware of right here? No. So that's a good sign for right now. Maybe an hourly does, however. Hourly RSI is making massively higher highs right there, but it also did flip the trend for right now, so fair enough. Other than that, this one actually looks like short term it's gonna try a little bit higher. Let's see what the response is at around 3,100, and from there can march up targets a little bit higher if it starts to expand from there. In fact, 4-hour Joule has a nice signal going on right now, supported also by BBWP expanding above 50 percentile. That is, I mean, it would be implying momentum oscillators to the upside right now as well. So keep an eye on about 31. Let's call it 3150 to be conservative here. Because this is a big piece of price action going on, and then pay attention to the quarterly closure. But long term, still pretty damn good. Here's how the short term resolves itself, which is going to essentially drive the biases for early October. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. Nice one, man. What's up, Jack? We can do Ethereum Bitcoin, certainly. Let's see what we got over here. And again, you know, this one pulling through right here, as we did say was likely yesterday. This is good. This is good. Putting in a bit of a complex low right now, but, you know, nothing really bearish about this thing as long as you're above, what is it, like basically yesterday's low, 6.8 million Satoshis. I'd be looking for this one to put in a move somewhere around 7 million Satoshis, see where that forces things on the daily. Yeah, but a daily closure above 7 million is going to look pretty damn good. This is going to look like your next major low. And, well, you got low, you got high, you got higher low, you got higher high, you got higher low right here as well. Looks really, really good. We have any, oh, we have some phantom bull div coming in as well. If it can close here or higher by end of day, that'd be a really, really good early sign. How's the monthly looking like? Still good. I still like it above 7 million, especially. Weekly still okay, or sorry, 5-day and weekly still okay as well. That's really rough to add on to that. Short term, good. Short term, I'd be looking for it to test back around there, and then actual breakout back above about 711. Nice and easy to remember as well. Sevies there. See. Let me take a sip of this water, man. I am really, really thirsty right now. There we go. All right, what's up, Raj? ALBT. Okay, let's check this one out. I think we looked at this one the other week or so. Looked interesting, man. It had an interesting chart right there. Let's see if it still does. Nope, not as interesting right now, certainly. But are we putting a bit of a local low right here? Probably, yes. Probably does move back up to like 82, 83 cents or so. Preferably on Uniswap, because that's the pair that's been around since October 2020. All right, well, we can do that. We can definitely do that over here. Okay, this chart actually looks rather different. Long term, pretty damn good. This is always a good sign when this thing's in a general long term uptrend, but does that imply that the short term is going to be straight up as well? Perhaps not. Although short term, it probably does continue to bounce a little bit more here. Have to be bearish on it short term as long as you're below about 91 cents or so. Short term bounces can come up to, you know, 83, 84 cents and still be just corrective in this case. I would flip around to, you know, pretty much bullish in all time frames, because the higher term time frames are, you know, long term good here. Above that, what was it, 95 cent or so region. But for right now, you know, it does look corrective. And in this case, probably gonna, well, again, I do want to see where Bitcoin kind of lands itself in the sense of like, where does it land, where does it close this next quarterly? But, you know, for what it's worth right now, it looks like this one probably comes back down to prior ranges into October, maybe like 50 cents to 55 cents in this case. Long term, though, I'd actually still like it, to be fair. Yeah, the quarterly is really fucking good here. So that would be a major opportunity, at least for the time being right now. Although more bearish people will call this one massive shooting star dildo. They actually do have a point on that one. Definitely can see that as well. But this one kind of has to prove itself right now. Probably going to be easier to watch Bitcoin in this case as well. That's what I'd generally be thinking right here. Yeah, very, very difficult to love in the short term as long as you're below about 91 cents, especially. I suspect that this one does come lower into October. And then see after that. Okay, Corey H, what's up, man? OMI USD. All right. Hey, you have a great day as well, sir. OMI USD. Okay, economy. This thingy. Maybe OKEX is gonna be the one to go to, or what is this? Ascendex. Oh, okay, it's got more history, so fair enough. You're looking at long term, please. I am Dayman. Yes, I am Dayman. You can be Nightman, sir. I do think this one's probably putting a high right here, to be fair. Yeah, weekly's kind of toppy as well. Let's see. Okay, where would I essentially negate that? Because the daily is actually the daily is bullish, but higher term time frames lead me to believe that that's probably not going to play out. Hold on, let's go over here. Having mixed signals right now. Okay, daily's down. 12 hours down. 5-3. 4 hour is flippy floppy, but technically up, and hourly flippy floppy as well, but probably more on the downside. What about a 6 hour? Interesting. I'm inclined to say this one probably does break down, actually. I mean, what do you have right here? You got a bunch of lower highs, you got the same lows. Does it put in another bounce, maybe extend the bounce up all the way to like 5.4? Possibly yes, but look, as long as this thing's below like, you know, 5.6, whatever that number is, I'd be looking for this one to correct further down, somewhere down around about 44 to 45 thousand, whatever. Or no, it's actually 0.4 of a cent to 4.5 of a cent, actually. More long term, you know, this rally is constructive thus far, but Not a big fan of that over there. That's going to be difficult long term. What about the monthly again? Monthly's not super bad. Yeah, not really enough history right there as well. I'd probably be leaning a little bit more to the downside right here. Confirmation on actual breakout to the downside will be below about 50,000 or 50, not 50,000, 0.5% in this case. And I'll be looking for probably October down to like 4.5%. Probably big bounces there too. We want to see it hold up actually. Okay. Whoa, I missed a lot of them right there. What's up? No more paper. ASAN, ASAN stock. Okay. Let's see. Asana. Down. Down, sir. Looks like shit. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it looks like shit when we go to the weekly here, obviously, but this one's certainly topped out. I'd be looking for this one to come down, work its way down below $100 to like low 90s, 91 to $93, maybe October. Monthly is not terrible. Should be bounces in the low 90s. Yeah, no time frames given here. Short term, does it bounce before that? Maybe another short term bounce off of like, 99 or $100 even, but ultimately I'd be looking for this one to come down in October. Quite the run right there, like quite the run, no doubt about that. But long term, does it find its way even lower than that? I think so, probably somewhere between like 70 to $80. I guess that is more long term. And again, because you did not include a time frame, I don't know where to go with that. So hopefully that was in some way helpful, sir. What's up, Ben? Can we look at XCAD? Okay, XCAD. I'm guessing it's this thing, and I guess it's probably not the stock, given the channel name here. Good. This one's actually one of the few charts that actually looks like it wants to break out today. Hidden bullish evidence on daily RSI right there. Daily BBWP expanding, although I don't know how much I trust this. A little bit too new, but 4 hour agrees. That's good. Same signals actually here on the 4 hour as well. I'll be looking for this one to break out, man. A nice little, well, in this case, reaccumulation yet again. Where would I be looking for like some on this? Assuming that today closes above about 4.25, or if maybe we could do this on a 4 hour as well. 4 hour above about 4:30 would do it for me. I'd be looking for, I suppose, a continuation move to 540, maybe even $5.50 overall. And actually, an interesting chart, all things considered. Was not expecting that, man. Nice one. XCAD. What the fuck does this thing do? Whatever it does, it's okay. Okay, I suppose. Now, let's say that it fails the topside resistance of this. I'd just be looking for it to come back down somewhere around the middle of this range again, like 369 or so, and give another try later. This deserves some respect. Whatever the fuck this thing is, it's actually okay. Hourly says probably doesn't break out right now for what it's worth. Okay, cool. What's up, Mr. T? OMI. Yes, we just looked at that. I think. OHM. Is what we looked at. This thing. Maybe not. This doesn't look too familiar. This is pretty good. This is really good. OHM. All right, Olympus Dow, number 75 market cap, true disruptor. Well, you can tell by the chart that the market actually agrees with you. So that's pretty damn good right here, man. Pretty damn good. Hidden bullish evidence of that last low into new highs on the rally. Very, very nice. Looking for this one to generally continue into early October, somewhere around like 850 or so. You can see, obvious. You can see actually a lot of good things on this one. Weekly higher low. We already got our higher high right here. I'd generally be bullish into October on this one. Wouldn't be surprised to see it. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see it hit $1,000 before end of year. Now again, I don't know what time frames you're trying to go off of right here. Short term, does it come back down to like 700? Definitely possible. I don't really have a reason to not be bullish on this thing, especially as long as you're above like 630. It's really good. Again, among the better charts that we've seen today. Absolutely, very, very nice. Volatility about to tick up, it looks like, and bullish evidence, or sorry, hidden bullish evidence and trend all at the same time. Very nice. Very, very nice, sir. Wow. No more paper as retracted his message. Why? How dare you? Oh, God. I only have one question. Brown bread or white bread? I don't need bread at all, man. I don't need carbohydrates, sir. Meat only, sir. Let's see. West Coast PC Builder. Can you look at BETU? It's on Binance Smart Chain. BET. It is not on Binance Smart Chain, or at least, or sorry, it probably is on Binance Smart Chain, but it is not on TradingView, is what I mean to say. And of course, I'm limited by what TradingView has. And I mean, I suspect that the next question is going to be, well, can you go look at it on CoinGecko or whatever the fuck? No, because it's not going to be helpful to me, and it's going to be like a very bastardized chart. I'd imagine it's probably extremely new, or it's quite literally a scam. But you know, TradingView hosts all sorts of things that are like obvious scams as well. So probably not that. It's probably just way too new. But yeah, and if it's way too new, I'm not going to have a good analysis on it anyways, man. So unfortunately, I know that that's not helpful and it's frustrating, but I can't really say anything other than that. What's up, Lilith? Yeah, we can definitely look at Dixie. So we called a low on Dixie months ago, and I think that did come to fruition. Where's my goddamn Dixie? Where's my damn Dixie? There it is. I'm passing right by the whole time. Oh, baby! Dixie saw Z's picture and got a nice little girthy green dildo. My lord. Powerful. Short-term continuation to just below 95, like 94.85 or so. And then I'd be looking for end of year here to be good. Back up above 95.5 to 96 or so. Hidden bullish evidence about to be initiated on the quarterly. The fucking quarterly right there. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Weekly, yeah, coming into a little bit of short-term resistance right here, just around like 94.75 to 94.80, probably short-term pullback right there. But long-term, this is very obviously a major macro low right here, and this thing very likely, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing actually push up towards $100 into next year. But I'd want to see at least like 96 first, and then kind of come back after that, because that would be your trappy area if you are going to be long-term bearish on this. But wonder where that guy is. He's giving me a lot of shit for being bullish on Dixie. Well, fair enough. It looks pretty bullish to me. I don't have anything to add on to it other than that. I don't really care to look at lower term timeframes on this. I don't think lower term timeframes like even matter too much on this. It always kind of I wouldn't say make me laugh, but it makes me go like, what the fuck are you looking at when someone says like Dixie on the 5 minute is going down? It's like, okay. Enlightening. You know, if you're looking for correlations with like major assets, and realistically this is correlations with other fiat currencies, that is obviously not directly correlated with it, just a function of, you know, who prints more than who, basically. Who has the loosest fiscal policy, right? You know, this thing, yeah, this thing's looking right there. And again, this is, you know, going to expand from monthly single-digit BBWP numbers. Monthly, I say. Monthly, sir. Yeah, bullish as fuck. Bullish as fuck, sir. Let's see. Swaggy T-Baller says, I just got here. Have we discussed Bitcoin already? Sir, it's always at the same time, same place, same day. Every goddamn time. Every goddamn time. But yeah, we'll do it at the end of the stream as well. Let's see. Winning Choice 87 says, thanks. One thing about Bitcoin, any weight on symmetrical triangle that we are for? No, I do not. Again, I do not care about symmetrical triangles like at all. Symmetrical triangles are, first off, are we even in one? No, we're not. This would be a descending triangle, if anything. Second off, symmetrical triangles just, I do not find to have good hit rates in cryptocurrency land. I actually don't like them in any markets. The only things that I like in cryptocurrency land are descending and ascending triangles. Those have a really good hit rate for actually like being playable. In this case right here, you got the same low, so that would be a descending triangle, not a symmetrical triangle. Same thing over here. I'm not, you know, I haven't gone to my preschool shapes class in a long time, but this would not appear to be symmetrical to myself. Maybe we're looking at different things, in which case, you know, show me a chart. But like, even if it was a symmetrical triangle, I would just look at it as Jesus chose to begin with, because I'd have zero interest in playing anything like that. I think those are completely fucking Jesus toast garbage, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, basically your question is any weight on that? It's just not even one to begin with, at least in the way that I look at it at all. And realistically, you want to see, like, if you're looking at it daily, you want to see like a lot more price action combined in that. You go down to like the 4 over here. This is where it starts to make actual sense if you want to put some Jesus toast on it. Again, Mr. West Coast PC Builder, unfortunately, TradingView does not have BETU, so we cannot look at it, sir. Mr. DJ Tijan, what's up, man? Actually, we already looked at Polkadot. Polkadot. Sorry, thinking of Pokedex, and I'm wrong. Seems overdue for a move compared to the other top 10 alts, but the chart has me skeptical. Is it overdue? Nothing's overdue. Things are just relatively weak and relatively strong, and this thing is relatively weak, baby. Oh. Man, if Bitcoin shows any weakness, you're gonna love this thing back at 16 bucks, baby. Daily, weak as fuck. 4 hour short-term upside, yeah. I'd be looking for like 29 and a quarter or so. I would say that the correction is over if this thing can trade back above 31 and a half. It's pretty fucking far away, and I don't necessarily think that happens, but that would be my conditions for that. That would be invalidation here. Until then, all short-term upside moves probably get sold into. Pretty ugly chart right here. Pretty ugly, at least for this this price action right here. Long term, it's good long term, but again, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it do something like this, and then maybe do that if it's going to be bullish. If it's bearish, you'll see something like this, something like boom, and lower high right there, and then probably another one, and then ah! Something like that. But you know, the way that I'm kind of looking at this market right now is I think we're going to generally do something like this, and probably do that and have a good end of year, if I had to guess. So where would my conditions for continuation of the downside be on the short-term time frames? Easy, below 27 and a half on a 4 hour. Until then, short-term up. Short-term is up, and we got bullish. Everyone's come off the lows. We got 4 hour jewel also leading it in as well. Not a super strong signal, but should get at least a little bit more of a move. And then, hey, if you can get back above 31 and a half, very, very good. Very, very good. Don't necessarily think that happens, but that'll be my conditions for that, sir. Let's see. Tails is back. Matic USD on the daily. Another one that was like super popular, similar to Polkadot, but this doesn't seem to be getting any love anymore. Let's see. If you have time, please, and happy birthday. Thanks. I wish you a happy birthday as well, sir. I wish everyone here a happy birthday. How about that? It doesn't even matter if it's your birthday or not. It's always at least some variation of your birthday. It could be your half birthday, could be your quarter birthday, could be your 165. Your 1 out of 6,500 birthday, your 165th, something like that. Anyways, what are we looking at here? Daily and weekly. Okay. See, it seems to me that most people on this channel are interested with like what I would consider like higher term timeframes for cryptocurrency. Again, a very obvious one right here, based off of the 200 exponential average and 200 simple. Anywhere below about 107, and I'd be looking for this one to get sent back to the depths of hell to 3/4 or so. Until then, weekly is a fucking break. Look, if I have to call this one, yeah, short term, I might have another short term upside move. Could this thing move back up to like 123? Sure. Again, I'd probably need like a strong Bitcoin back above, I think it was 44.5 or so is what I was looking at. I would not call this a bear trap until this thing gets back above about at least 1.25, preferably about 129 actually. Until then, the weekly says down, and yeah, 3/4 is kind of where I'd be looking towards. Again, probably looking at something like this around end of year. If this one's going to be bullish, that would look really, really good long term. But for right now, not a humongous fan of the short term timeframes, and definitely a laggard here again. I mean, just follow the trend, man. Follow the yellow brick trend. Akshay Jadhav, hopefully I'm saying your name properly, sir. Namaste to you as well, sir. Bala means hey man, these are languages that I'm just not familiar with here. Okay, BSE on, okay, this is an Indian exchange, I believe. Man, one of my good friends, Faraz, was showing me some like really interesting stuff about India yesterday. Apparently like this group of kind of traditionalist people, I suppose, there, who, like the people who worship the cows, and they have like this fucking, look, I'm not making fun of your culture or anything like that. I just find this very interesting and very enlightening and very, very interesting. Let's just put it that way. And like they revere the cow so much that they like to drink the urine, like the cow pee. And so this group of, I guess, more traditional minded people were trying to mandate it that all drinks at the airport, at the international airport in India, were going to be like, could only have cow pee drinks, because that's like a thing there. So like if you fly into fucking India, you wouldn't be able to get water at the airport. You have to drink the fucking cow piss. Drink the pee pee, they said. Eat the fucking crickets, they said. Eat the insects, you will be happy. Yeah, I mean, it's India. I think there's some really interesting analysis as to why they revere the cow or like the cow itself. First off, cows are like really nice creatures, by the way. If you've actually ever gotten to know one, instead we just fucking slaughter them in some pretty awful ways. But man, like these cows, they like way back when, and still now as well, you know, when a cow shits in their little cow pies, like magic mushrooms grow from that. So people were probably like turning over their shits and taking those mushrooms and getting high as fuck, seeing God, and they're like, these creatures are sacred, baby. I'm seeing God from their asshole shit. Oh my God, man. Like, I would definitely think that if I didn't know any better, shit, maybe they are God. Maybe they are. I'm down with the cows. I'm down with the cows. Probably not going to drink the pee though. Then again, who knows what the benefits of that are, you know? It could maybe give you other sacred powers as well. All right, anyways, let me actually address what the fuck you're asking for. BSE, bit of a range right here, but overall good. This is a nice, healthy consolidation, but I would be looking for next move down to 1200, probably short-term bounce there. And then honestly, I'd be looking for another lower low to like 1150. But that you know, this is long-term good. I mean, you have a nice uptrend right here. The reversal is real. Golden cross, for what it's worth, happened on the weekly. I don't trust it too much on this one. Very bullish long-term as long as you're above 1100, if that is what you're concerned with. But oh yeah, you are on the weekly here. Okay, interesting. So that is going to be relevant to you. So good, nice. Short-term though, down. I'd be looking for it to test back down around those regions. But overall, very, very good. Very, very good. Probably going to take a long time as well, man. I don't think this thing's going to be moving anytime soon. Maybe like end of years. Hopefully that was helpful. And I should say I would be pretty damn bearish below about 1100, but for right now, you know, this seems like a good corrective setup. Hidden bullish evidence on the daily as well. Generally good. Cool. Mitch Jacob says, you are really cute, dude. Thanks, man. I'm also single now too, because my girlfriend left me because I didn't buy a coin. So 2021, baby. We don't judge genders no more. I'm not even going to ask you what gender you are. Let's see. I think I missed something over here. There we go. B Arthur's dingus. Crown Jewels, can you check out Algo 6-hour daily and weekly? Yes, but you don't need to yell at me with your all capitals, sir. Just regular typing is good. It makes me feel anxiety, and it's also weird because you wouldn't yell in someone's face in real life as well, would you? 6-hour daily and weekly. Sure, we can do that. I think we have a correction going on here, sir. And I believe we did say down to 160 on this one, I think at the end of last week. And I do think that this one does come down a little bit further, actually. To a 4-hour in this case. 4-hour, 6-hour. Actually okay in the low term timeframes. I would say that I'd say that this correction is over back above about 1 3/4. Back above actually yesterday's high. I would say that correction is probably over, and I'd be looking for a short-term move back up somewhere around about $2 or so. Obviously, invalidation on this is going to be below yesterday's low and probably be get another deeper correction, in this case down to about 135 to 140. But overall, this one is showing a bit more upside signals than downside signals. Bullish evidence come off the last low. BBWP is set to expand from a very low level. 4-hour Jewel is not a great signal right here. This is not the signal that you're necessarily looking for. So I am inclined to be a little bit more. Yeah, I probably should be a little bit more critical of this one. I should be bearish on this one, and bearish is not the right term. I should be looking for a deeper correction on this one down to about 130 to I think it was 40. I would invalidate that back above about 170 to 175 or so and look for a move to about $2, and this is going to start to look really, really good for early October rather than probably later this year. Let's see. High Desert Garden says SGB USD. Okay. What's this? Are you talking about? Okay, are you trying to do Forex like this? Are you talking about this? I don't know what you're referencing. Are you talking about like Singapore gas oil futures? Talking about this? I'm guessing you're probably talking about this. I'd be looking for a bounce here. No time frames given either. I'd probably be looking for a bounce up to like 18,000 though, but I don't know what you're looking for here. Maybe, yeah, let me just double check. No, that's not gonna bring anything. Unless if it's this. No. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referencing, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see. All right, what's up, winning choice? Zoom out, Krown symmetrical triangle, since our top at 64,000. Oh, okay, you're talking about like very long term. So you're talking about from like here to there to there. Okay, so you're doing something like this. At the outset, I'd say absolutely fucking not. You're talking about something like this. No, because this is not how you'd see a symmetrical triangle to begin with. You'd want to see it first. First off, you don't really see them like this to begin with. What you're looking for in a symmetrical triangle is you're looking for kind of like an equal slope of your top side and bottom side support and resistance. In this case, that would obviously be way more aggressive on the bottom side. This is not in any way, shape, or form a symmetrical triangle by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not saying that to like just poo-poo on your ideas. It's just this is straight up not. This is Jesus toast right here. This is probably more Jesus toast than what you're looking at on the shorter term timeframes over here, in my opinion. I don't think trend lines like this matter at all to begin with. Diagonal trend lines I think are mostly garbage and mostly bullshit, except for like very long term ones, which can have some validity. But in this case right here, no, I do not believe so. You'd want to see it again, kind of like similar slopes. In this case, you already have the top side of it. You do not have the bottom side confirmed of this because you do not have this confirmed as a local low here. If you're looking at this from a from like a higher term time frame perspective, so it would be one, too premature to do that, and two, it doesn't even fit the bill to begin with, and three, you're not really going to be looking at some like way back on over here. Well, that could potentially work, but yeah, I think I'd take back that last point that I was about to get on. You'd probably be looking for something like this. And it doesn't even look right to begin with, to be honest with you. Like, this is not what a symmetrical triangle looks like. Let me find some that actually fits the bill as a symmetrical triangle. Let's see. I mean, the truth of the matter is we don't really see too many of them because honestly, they barely ever work. Yeah, I don't think I can even find an easy one here. Yeah, they really don't work too well in my experience. Okay, here we have kind of one. Kind of. This is what it should kind of look like. Something like this. See how like they're mostly the same right there. Maybe a little bit off. Even this one's not like great. It's really not great, honestly. No, man. Jesus toast is what I'd be thinking right there. If anything, this was again a descending triangle. So when in doubt, you know, here's the thing, man. A general rule when it comes to patterns is like if you really have to kind of like squint your eyes and fucking, you know, manipulate the chart so that it kind of works out, it's probably not going to be one worth playing. The best patterns are very obvious ones. Very, very obvious patterns. Let's see. Jack Asman says, "Sir, could you look at Sol USD?" Yes, we can definitely do that. Let's see what that one is. Still hanging at 130 to 140. Nice. All right. Here we go. Here we have Solana, symbol SOL versus the dollar, still stuck within this nice little lower high formation right here. And it appears to maybe even be putting another one right now as well. I do have to be bearish on this one, as long as you're below about 150 on the short-term time frames. And it would imply a, you know, another retest of the lows back down to about 120, 125 to 128 region with any sort of a 4-hour closure below about 136.5 in this case. Lower term time frame. Yeah, lower term time frame momentum oscillators will actually have very likely another drive of hidden bearish divergence right here between this point and this point, as it hasn't really made. It's kind of made a higher high, not really though. Overall though, I would feel very I'd feel no issue with getting bullish on this thing back above about 147.25. Looking for moves back up to the top side of the prior ranges, you know, in the upper 160s to 170 region. Let's see what momentum oscillators over here say and see if they agree or not, because that can kind of help up with the biases. 6 hours freshly up as long as above 139 essentially. Daily is up as long as above about 132.75. Okay, this is good. 12 hours down as long as below 142. And hourly is going to flip-flop around here as well. 140 going to be the magical number on this one. I would still kind of go with the general trend right here. Below let's call it 137 on a 4-hour closure. I would say that this, you know, very likely does retest the lows. And at that point, you know, what is this? It's the descending triangle. You got the same lows, you got lower highs, and that would imply a move all the way down to 110, and that is a weekly relevant region as well. Again, long term, like very long term, this is one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land, deserves a lot of respect. And long term, I don't have anything really bearish to say about it, but can this thing correct down to like low $100, even to maybe $80 over time in like early October? Definitely possible. Those would probably be long-term opportunities in my book, but very difficult to be bullish on this one. especially as even lower term timeframes are below, 147.5, I think it was. So hopefully that was helpful. Let's actually see what the monthly looks like as well. I'm going to do the end of this month. Monthly, please respond. Monthly? Where are you? Why is it working? Is my internet wrecked again? Come on. A little bit toppy. A little bit toppy. I think, this one's gone on pretty much an unabated run since its inception. A little bit more than a year ago. Do we go through a little bit of a sideways consolidation on the higher term time frames? Probably yes. And long term, pretty damn good chart. Deserves a lot of respect, among the best charts in this world. But I certainly would not rule out another move down to like 110 ish region early October, again, assuming that the invalidation condition is not met. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go, sir. Nice one, man. What else do we have? Oh, my comments again. Let me pull them back up. This is actually quite difficult doing on my own. Edmundonto. Sorry, man. I'm butchering your name. Apologies on that. Parabus, symbol PBX. Okay. PBX. Oh, it's a crypto. All right. Uniswap and KuCoin, the two most fucking trusted exchanges out there. Actually good. Actually pretty damn good. Higher low right here. Reversal is real. I'd be looking for this one to continue the rally up. Probably around your prior highs. 2 cents. The ripe old price of 2 cents. I don't really trust a chart that's been around for this, low amount of time, but there's nothing bearish about this thing as long as you're above like one spot. Let's just call it 1 1/4 cent. I'd generally be looking up here. It's good. It's pretty damn good. Who knows what the fuck this thing is though? Who knows what the fuck that thing is, man? All right, let's see. MJ3F says, "Oh, my nanos. Much love, sir. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you as well, man. Thank you for the nice and positive message. Nice. Very nice. Thank you, man. Oh, is this the etchings of a potential lower high in the making? Say it ain't so, Bitcoin. Don't do it. Don't come back down and done derp it up." Mihai, what's up, Mihai? Can you have a look at Cardano? Yeah. Yeah, we certainly can do that. Follow up on this one. And generally bearish on this one. And let's see, should I still be generally bearish on it as well? Where's my damn derpios? There we go. Oh! No! No! This is a 3rd generation blockchain! Third generation goes down. No, still long-term, a very good chart here. But yeah, still long-term, a really, really good chart, to be fair. Should deserve a lot more respect than what I'm giving it right now. Here we have Carderpio, symbol ADA versus the dollar, and we have a little bit of a inverted cup and handle right here. My favorite formation of all time, but as long as this thing is above about 220, I do look for this one to, well, complete the formation, and that will very likely imply targets down to about 160 to 170 or so. Now I would get bullish on this thing back again, I would get bullish on this thing again back above about 230. Yeah, let's just call it 230 in this case. That would look pretty damn good, especially on a daily closure. Weekly, corrective here. Again, long term, this is pretty damn good. I'm sure that we had some bearish divergence right there. Oh, what do you know we did? Monthly, again, long term, very, very good. So make no mistake about it. Like when I'm talking about potential downside targets, these probably long term opportunities on something like this. Not really bearish in my opinion, as long as you're especially above like 1.5. I hate that I'm saying like so much. I do apologize about that. It's not a good habit to be forming. Let's go check it out over here. See if these agree, and then maybe come up with some more biases and some areas of interest. Hourly going to be flopping down below about 210. Okay, 4 hours going to be up as long as above about 208.5. 12 hour is down as long as below 220, 222 actually, and daily is down as long as below about 215.5. Yeah, I would be more downside angled on this one. I mean, this one's pretty much bearish as long as below about 220. Above 220, I would be looking for another retest around your prior highs of that last failed attempt. And that would be my invalidation point for just generally getting bullish on this thing back around, 270 to 280 or so, and probably continuation end of year. Again, long term, very, very good. Quarterly chart, very, very good. No doubt about that. I just expect that this one goes through a little bit more of a sideways consolidation here on the higher term timeframes. Short term timeframes, however, I mean, we technically even have some hidden bearish divergence forming right here as well. If this does complete a lower high, which will be had with any sort of a 4 hour closure below about 208 actually. So close this baby below 208. And I'd generally be looking for continuation of trend. In this case, where would the next technical target be on this one? Do something like this. Well, yeah, that would be your 170 to 180-ish region. Or sorry, 160 to 170-ish region. So fair enough. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, invalidation back above about let's call it 222 in this case. Until then, not so hot, sir. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. Nice one. Nice one. Let's see. Hey, actually, I think we got through everything now. Holy moly, man. Damn, it's already a 2-hour stream as well. Holy fuck, man. My my voice starting to scratch up a little bit. I suppose that's my signal. Bitcoin dumping back down. I'm not sure what you necessarily can consider a dump. I would consider, on an asset that trades at $43,000, multiple thousands of dollars down would be a dump for me. But to each their own in this case. Would I call this a dump? Well, if this is a dump to you, man, I regret to inform you that if Bitcoin actually does dump, you should be prepared for something to the tune of $7,000 to $10,000 move to the downside. That would be a real dump in my book. In this case right here, and this is a lower term time frame. maybe you're on the minute. It's a switch. It's dumping! It's never going to go up again! I'm financially wrecked! What's up, Adam Nasser? I see you, man. All right, man. I think it's time for me to probably wrap up Bitcoin and sign off. 2 girls, 1 cup. All good, man. All good. Hey, thank you for that, Cam. Thank you for that, man. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's wrap up Bitcoin and then send you on your way. Let me just set up the charts over here, and we'll get this one nice and streamlined for the end of the quarter, actually. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and it is a very big day today. It is not just the end of the quarter, it's also the end of the month, and it is potentially even the infrastructure deal being decided upon today as well. Now, there has been some, questionativeness around that it might get pushed back. That happens, might influence the markets, of course, but with what we have going on right now, there is something really, really important to be aware of on the quarterly specifically, which is going to be closing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time in 16 hours, 57 minutes, and 53 seconds. If Bitcoin closes basically anywhere around 44,000 bucks, I actually would still be looking at Bitcoin very likely to put in new all-time highs before end of year. Now, if Bitcoin closes well below 44,000 bucks, at that point, I will start to entertain possibilities that maybe we do not have, or maybe we actually do have a macro top in place and this thing does work its way lower over time. With that said, I would still be respectful of both the daily trend, the weekly trend, and weekly targets here, which do suggest that Bitcoin, regardless of of where this one closes today, that Bitcoin does reach down to about mid to low $30,000 territory. Again, I've been kind of postulating this chart over here on CME specifically in line with our last major gap from, of course, July, late July in this case. That Bitcoin's going to do something like that. Oh, I guess I already have it drawn in there. God damn it. Well, basically something like that, of which it has been falling. I did it again. Has been God damn it, my bad. Maybe I'm just drawing a bunch of bullshit over here. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing. Something like this, where it puts in a wick down to mid to low $30,000 territory, and then maybe climbs back up above 37, 38 or so by end of week. That would look pretty damn good long term. So for what it's worth, Bitcoin did open up on a pretty nice bounce this morning, which we did say was likely off of the $41,000 region to about 43.5. This is where things start to get a lot more interesting here, because we are still within the context of a descending triangle, obviously, which does have lower highs. In this case right here, you're looking at something like this, right? And Bitcoin, for what it's worth right now, seeing a little bit of pressure down, although certainly not conclusive here. So where would I start to confirm this as a lower high? I'd confirm this as a lower high with a 4-hour closure below about 43,000 bucks. If that happens, we will have another drop of hidden bearish divergence right here between this point and actually even this point, as well as 4-hour RSI is making higher highs above that point and that point. So yes, all three of these highs would be within there, and I'd be looking for another retest around the lows, probably 41,000 bucks, and very likely does set it up for a breakdown early October. And because this is a descending triangle, it does have a technical target on it. If confirmation is had, again below about 41,000 bucks. And that would be right around about 37,000 bucks, in line with our last lows from early August, actually, which is right in line, of course, with our weekly 55 exponential average. And of course, we did identify over here that on the bi-weekly, we have a somewhat interesting setup going on right now, as we have seen several times in the history of Bitcoin where we have gotten a bi-weekly MACD cross the downside. It's happened 3 times, not including the one that happened about a month or two ago. And basically, they've all had about the same results. So I marked them off right here by these vertical lines, and you can kind of judge them on price action. And about the same thing happens every time. Thus far, doesn't mean it's always going to happen in the future, but it's, until it stops working, it works. And what do we have over here? Across the downside, based off the 20 simple, bounces up above the 9, boom, down to the 55, and actually breaks low over time. Same thing over here, bounces on the 20 simple, back above the 9, rejection, and down to the 55, and well, lower over time as well. Same thing over here for the prior one as well. Bounce off the 20 simple, back above the 9, rejection, down to 55, and lower over time as well. And is this time going to be different? Definitely yes. 100% fucking yes, it is. Because why not? What do we have over here? Bi-weekly MACD across the downside, Bitcoin basis around the 20 simple, bounce above the 9, and dare I say, that's already a local high confirmed. I would say so, yes. And we even see bi-weekly MACD increase momentum to the downside, as is the weekly here too. And technical target for that has generally been around the 55. That will be rising up over time, of course, as well. But that would be in the low 30s. So we could get a wick down around there, then bounce up. So again, this quarterly closure is going to be very, very important for kind of judging the biases to come, as if Bitcoin fails above 44 or even around 44, then I probably do look at this at least a little bit more as potentially macro bearish. Now let's go over here to lower term time for momentum oscillators, and let's see. 4-hour Stokes will be crossing down with any sort of a closure below 42,200. Okay, fair enough. Looking good right there. Hourly is going to be crossing down below 43,700 in about 53 minutes. So I'm looking, at least for right now, a little bit likely. Bi-hourly is going to be up as long as above 41.6. Okay, good. 12-hour is down as long as below 43.2. Kind of around there right now, so interesting. And daily will also be down as long as below about 42,750. So I'd actually feel very, very comfortable also in saying that if the daily does close below about 42,500 in this case, well, I would be looking for the next major downside move to happen. Now, here's the thing. There always comes with an invalidation on the other side, as always. I mean, there has to be, because nothing's 100% guaranteed to work out. So how do you know when you're wrong? Well, in this case, very, very simple. Anywhere above the last lower high that we did see on the 27th of September, which would be on a closing 4-hour basis, just above 44,000 bucks, on a wick basis at about 44.5, then I would, signal like the early warning signal that this is probably going to be a bit of a bear trap in Bitcoin. At the very least, gets a move up to 45,000 bucks. Above there, even the most conservative trader, in my opinion, would probably be looking for this one to continue up towards at least 47, and that's at the next, price point where I'd kind of want to check back on it. Personally speaking, I'd probably signal the bear trap, or sorry, I'd probably confirm a bear trap around there, tentatively speaking, but I'd want to see it in real time as well. For right now, though, we do have a silver cross the downside right here. As long as we're below the 21, which is, guess where, right around that 44 to 44.5 pivot, I do look at that as essentially playable. Is there anything else to be aware of right here? We did lose our downside curvature on the daily jewel, so that would be a little bit more in the Boo Law's court right there. 4-hour jewel also did get the low rather well, and now supported by the DMI. So I think Bitcoin will have a chance here, and I would not front run any sort of a breakdown just yet. But below 43, things do start to turn around, and dare I say fast, especially on a closure, that is. So with that said, I think we'll be signing off right there. I want to wish you the best in the happiest again. It's been an absolute pleasure on this lovely end of quarter for September. And I salute you, and until next time. Nice one. All right, sirs and zers. Man, there's some warlike discussions going on right now. Can't we all just be friends? Can't we all just get along? Hey, what's up, Yasek? I see you, man. Hey, what's up, Bear? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. I'm gonna be signing off now, guys. I hope that this was in some way helpful. I hope that this was maybe even in some ways entertaining as well. And with that said, until next time, take care.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate, pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, type it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, it, lose it.